and things. And welcome to Biscuit Tin RPG, everybody. Home of the Red Runners and another game that we run on Saturdays that you should totally check out tomorrow as we go through a downtime. But sorry for the delayed start. We had some technical difficulties. But we're going to go ahead and get jumped in here. I am going to start off by saying that I have officially gotten every physical print ordered for all the different proofs for premium, standard, hardcovers, as well as the soft cover print of the first gate. So as soon as I get those, I'll be able to look at them and say, yeah, this is fine, and I'll make them go live. And then everybody that backed on the Black Ballad will get their discount codes that did sign up for they put their name in the fucking survey I made. Whatever. Let's get to the game, everybody. All right, let's look at the recap. For session 31, wait, we're heroes? This comes from the diary of Jean Valgris. Dear Diary, we're still trying to get support for Fate and her plans to stabilize the Shadelands. To be honest, I was kind of checked out for the first bit of it with everything that I've learned and everything that's happened. I've been letting myself fall into little Sebastian more and more lately. His empty little mind is basically the only peace I can hope for anymore. The only problem with that is how I'm letting my friends down and the city is tearing itself apart, and instead of helping out, I'm going back to get another hit of absence of pain. Damn, that is dark. While lives hang in the balance. I guess most people would call that addiction. Anywho, after snapping out of my reverie once again, we got to work recruiting more support. Augustine got her brother's support by singing a beautiful song without the use of her magic, raw talent, and pure skill. Riva battled the Hexblade champion in a match that I thought was to the death. Riva won and came out the other side bloody and bruised while the Hexblade champion seemed fine, which feels a bit like cheating, but the rules when dealing with patrons seem to be odd like that. Issa declined to make a deal with the Fiend, and we trust her judgment. However, I did something impulsive that I will most certainly regret. In my negotiations with the representative of the Archfey, I gave her Lil Sebastian. Once I understood what was being asked of me, I honestly don't know how I stayed on my feet. But some part of me saw the truth. My urge to fall into Lil Sebastian was dangerous. Since I couldn't bear the thought of bringing harm to Lil Sebastian, I took my one best chance to get him to someone who would appreciate him properly. As painful as that was, I secured the support of the Archfey. I can only hope that it was enough to make a difference. We still had patrons to woo, but I was kind of burnt out by that point, so I wasn't much help. Augustine played somehow an even worse version of Teeth, only with her vocal cords with representative of Amadon, the genie patron. She won in a tiebreaker that was very stressful. Honestly, I was regretting not having Lil Sebastian around quicker than I expected. Issa went way hardcore and sold 50 years of her life to the Undying. Makes me look like a fucking chump for being sad for rehoming my little tree bug creature friend. Where was I? Oh, right. Riva and I talked to the representative of the old ones, but those guys are terrible at negotiating and they honestly freak me out. So we told them to kick rocks and that we'd take our chances. It looks like we won't have to wait long to see if our efforts bear fruit. Fingers crossed if you got 'em, diary. We need all the help we can get. Jean. Good lord, what is going on with my voice? I apologize, everyone. I thought I was getting better. Apparently, I am perpetually just not great. Anyway, any whoozle be. Everyone make a perception check as Dorian said those final key phrases about heroes being among you all and how he didn't expect that you'd all be besties, but he gave the ultimatum of either help or get out of the way, citing that he was going to, one way or another, take all of his remaining troops and take back the Scarlet Hearth. So, as that's happening, I need everyone except Unya to make a perception check.
26.
24.
23.
Natural 20 for a 34.
All right, you all see as that out of the corner of your eye, you look back and you see a figure that disappeared in the middle of all the negotiations. Unya is walking in the door as this final speech is being given. And Unya, why don't you describe what you're wearing?
Okay, so you remember the chef's hat, of course, but now he is in a completely pristine chef's hat. Not a speck of dirt to be seen, or blood in this case.
Um, Everyone make another perception check as you look at him.
15.
23.
10.
Also 15 on a natural 1. I just went for the extremes there, apparently.
So who got the 23? Issa, something is off about Unya. You're not quite
More so
sure
than
what it
usual.
is. And this is par for the course that you would recognize this in your frail old lady I bake cookies for fun body.
I would have loved to meet you.
You don't know much about loxodons or how long they live because they're not native to this area, but he seems older. And with that being said, Dorian kind of skips pleasantries and just kind of sits on the throne, waiting for everyone to exit at their leisure. Now that the party and festivities, quote unquote, are over, the bard that kind of sang your entrance or heralded you all actually walks up to you all and says, "I can show you where your rooms are if you'd like."
I
Didn't know we had rooms.
Dang.
Yes. The king has given everybody the right of hospitality, and while you're under his roof, you are under his protection, and the same is expected that you will not do anything to directly contradict that hospitality, or you'll be met with, of course, force. It goes both ways, but you're safe under his roof for the night. For the night. Everybody just stares blankly at the bard.
Lead away, Bard.
All right. So he walks you down a series of corridors and hallways. You can easily tell where you're all at. You're about 3 hallways down from the main entrance. As you're walking, the bard simply says, there's food provided. There will be a meal prepared for you in the morning. Feel free to rest up. Um, and Fate let me know that she's going to be arriving to you all here in the next few minutes or so. She's got a couple things she's got to take care of first. That being said, you're not all required to stay here. If you wish to go back to your own abodes, you're free to do so. But Dorian bid me to tell you that regardless, one way or another, he is going to pursue his plan tomorrow. So once again, and this is him speaking, not me. Please don't shoot the messenger. Either help him or stay out of his way. So there's that, and he walks you down, and he shows that there's a series of rooms on this in this hallway. You're all free to pick whichever one you want. The other dignitaries of other nations have either left to go to their camps that are stationed outside of the city walls, or into their own individual chambers or their homes that are here within the city.
I'm just gonna find a room, like the closest one, because I'm not worried what's inside of it.
Okay. Yeah, it's there's nothing crazy or salacious about the rooms. They're all very simple. They look comfortable, but they are not decorated as you would think a palace would be. Much like the throne room, it is simple interior, nice sheets, comforters, pillows, etc. But very modest. Function over fancy.
Take the soldier out of the barracks, but you can't take the barracks out of the soldier, apparently.
Well, you think you'd be able to, as a king, hire an interior decorator. Feels like something you could fit into the budgets.
I mean, I guess there's something to be said for the personal touch, but the personal touch is rough. God damn.
Bland, but I guess nothing unusual.
Yes, we are reading this king for filth in his own house.
Hey,
Uh,
you all do you.
so do we want to talk about tonight, or are we just gonna go sleep it off and ignore what happened?
I'm not
'Cause-
gonna lie, I half expected to hear the elephant in the room.
Yes, I must say you are looking maybe the cleanest I've ever seen you, Unya. Which I guess isn't saying too much, but you know,
There was a bar of expectation, and you are vaulting well over it right now. So
I think we're all
suppose-
impressed, really.
yeah,
Just trying to help.
Fate,
How?
about a couple minutes later, Fate actually wanders back, and she earlier she was kind of looking, very like pumped up, like you had all gotten the support that you needed in order to really get this political game rolling. So how that plays out in the future is yet to be determined, but we know that the immediate future is going to be involving the Scarlet Hearth. Fate walks in down the hallway, and you're probably all kind of standing in the hallway, kind of looking into your rooms, just like, eh. She motions with you, and she's like, "Okay, how everybody, if you could, I would appreciate you joining me a little bit further down here. There's a foyer or a meeting room of sorts where we can all sit and discuss, if you would like to. I know that it's been a very long evening. By this point, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning."
I'll follow and visit out.
Augustine will follow.
She sits down at it's a circular table, so it is very much Knights of the Round Table here. She sits down on the opposite side of the door that you all walked in, and she simply waits for you all to sit as well. Oh shit,
I think
Roman, you all right? Uh-oh. Well, that's weird.
Hmm.
We just had a whole switch. Oh, there we go.
I'm back.
All right, I don't.
Sorry,
It's all good.
I turned off. It's been a long day.
It's all
Fair.
good. All right. So I assume you all sit at at various seats at the table.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
She looks at you all and has a very serious look on her face, and she goes, I'm kind of at a crossroads. I don't know what to do. I know that there's no dissuading Dorian. He's going to try to take the Scarlet Hearth, and we have a choice to make.
Don't we always?
We can either stand by and do nothing and let this play out however it's going to play out, or we can side with Lacroix by leaving either now or in the morning before they start their march, or we can side with Dorian, at least for the time being, and take back the Scarlet Hearth to try to get some balance back before we start the process of our coalition. Now, based on what I've learned since our meetings with everyone, we did gather some good allies. Mozakai has said that whichever side we decide to back, we will have soldiers backing us for whichever play we'd like to use. Zale obviously cannot commit any soldiers specifically as he is kind of in the middle, but he will do his best to make sure that we have supplies if we need. Aelios has offered his offers his expertise and a way to get through the city quickly if we need that.
So the options are Dorian, help Dorian take the scout test back, which we took from him initially, or go with the Qua and all of his men to what, fight Dorian?
Yes.
And what is your take on this?
I don't know. All I know is that their fight is endless. It doesn't seem to be ending. I feel that if the, as unfortunate as it is, I'm torn. About that time, as she's trying to articulate her thoughts, Majin walks into the room. Oh, you all look cheerful. Oh, I didn't interrupt
I had the
anything,
good
did I?
fight.
Yes, you did. I heard.
It's a situation between everyone. It really sucks.
Well, no war is ever won without sacrifice.
All feels very silly to me.
I agree.
Well, Majin looks directly at you, Riva, and goes, it's kind of up your alley, really. They're fighting with heart. They both have their reasons for doing what they're doing. The only thing you have to decide as a group, or even just some of you, is which of those reasons is more justified in your minds.
Well, I fought the Accursed God and the Dorian's men already, so neither of them are really that hard of a fight. So
So you're basing your decision off of who's a better fighter.
that's me personally. I don't know. I don't know about them. They might be deciding on something else, some other metric. But I don't know.
Well, I'm only here to
Oh.
give moral support and say congratulations on recruiting all of those patrons. Surprising that you got the old one on your side.
We got two old ones on our side now.
Oh?
In front of Issa.
Motherfucker!
A smirk crosses
I ain't even
Majin's
mad at him,
face.
but motherfucker!
Wow. You know, never ceases to amaze me the choices that mortals make. Oh well. I will be around. If anybody has any specific questions, I'm going to currently make myself scarce as I don't want to be in the middle of all of this. But if any of you have need, some of you know how to reach me. Majin simply looks at Fate and he says, or they say, Fate, I know it's difficult, but you're gonna have to make a choice. Now, you can lean on this group of intrepid adventurers if you want, but at some point you've got to make your own decisions. And with a smirk and a nod to the rest of you all, Majin walks out of the room. Fate seems deflated, like this is a very tough choice. It's a toss up between it's two of her oldest friends. It's rough. And she's like, I honestly would like all of your input because whichever side we pick is going to directly affect the future of this land, for better or for worse.
It's a shame there isn't a third option.
Well, the
If
third
all
option
Dorian
is
wants,
not participating.
I mean, if all Dorian wants is the hearth back, and we could convince the Legionnaires to just leave, there's no reason for all that bloodshed.
Sounds unlikely. They seem pretty blood hungry. They want
Yeah.
want Dorian dead.
They are led by Lacroix, who will be facing Dorian directly. There is no convince one side to back down. This is old, bad blood. There will be bloodshed.
Doesn't change the fact that it's stupid.
Fate.
You know, Issa, calling it stupid does not change our present circumstances whatsoever and truly is not helpful.
She's got a point, says Fate. It really is stupid. I get that it doesn't change anything to say it out loud. But really, what the hell changed? I mean, I know that the deals seem to be getting weirder and weirder, but everything changed when the deals started getting harder to keep. And it seems like everything's back in the normal flow, but convincing Lacroix of that is impossible. Lacroix sees Dorian's deals as the epitome of everything that's wrong with this city and a danger to the inhabitants of it.
I mean, in many ways, he's not wrong, but he hasn't given us a better alternative than just killing Dorian and hoping for the best. Shadelands isn't particularly good at giving their best in any sort of circumstance.
True story. So, how about this? How about we sleep on it and we come back with a fresh set of eyes? Everyone take the time tonight to think over what your decision is, and if we have to split up and go separate ways depending on how we feel, then that's what we'll do. Or we could simply avoid this entire pointless war. I mean, I won't. I'm going to try to get in the middle of it and stop both of them, but I know in my heart that that's going to be almost impossible. But I'm still going to try.
I will back whatever decision is best to reduce the amount of bloodshed, but I will not give up the hearth so easily. I'm not running from this.
So you'll stay and fight. Are you going to fight for Lacroix or Dorian?
Like I said, I'll go wherever the least bloodshed will happen.
Then you better stay away from the Scarlet Hearth. That will be the epicenter of the bloodshed, I can guarantee you. As she says it, she's got like a very soft, mournful look in her eye because she knows that it's inevitable. This fight is going to happen one way or the other. And it's breaking her heart.
You've presented a fourth option. even if you don't realize it.
Fate looks up at you and says, "Pray tell, what fourth option?"
Well, you said you're going to try to get in between the two of them. So why choose a side or stand out or stand away from it all when we could stand in between?
That would require us going to the Scarlet Hearth, either with the Legionnaires, or either with the Accursed Guard, or leaving earlier before the fighting starts.
I mean, if we really need to break it down to which side to choose, that's fine, but I personally think they're both shitty options. And I don't know, I can't speak for everyone, but that's like Unya said, I am not staying out of this. This is my home now. I would prefer to try to stop it.
I
How
would too.
much? You go there early in between them and at the Scarlet Hearth, but then what? You try to talk them out of it? It's not gonna do anything.
No, but we'd be there for when we'd be there at the beginning of the fight, and we could try to curtail some of the fighting there. Either that, or we meet. Tactically speaking, it's going to start at the Scarlet Hearth with minor skirmishes in the middle, between the two opposing forces. But the big fight, the one that needs to be stopped, is going to be happening at the Scarlet Hearth. So getting on the Patron's Pass at the very least in between them is probably the best option. It's just a matter of whether or not we're going to travel hand in hand with Dorian's men to get there, or we're going to meet both sides there in the morning.
It would be safer traveling with Dorian, but it would absolutely put us at disadvantage with Lacroix's men because it's going to look like we've already chosen a side.
It's a fair observation.
We were offered the way through the city. No?
Elios would be helpful with this. He's the most neutral party in the city, all things
I,
considered.
I wouldn't call Alias neutral. He's a tricky bastard.
He's very good at self-preservation, and sometimes in this city that is as neutral as it gets.
Yeah, it is. Jean, you've been characteristically quiet. What do you think?
I'm not from here. I don't. All I know about all of this is what I've learned since I arrived. Um, they both think the other is a villain, and it's hard not to think that maybe they both have a point. I I don't know. I feel like I just don't know enough. Of course, I kind of feel like that all the time. Um, it's a lot's at stake, and uh, it's an awfully heavy question. I
Yeah,
just don't really know.
I get it. Well, I am going to wake up early before the King's Guard musters and they get ready to march, so that at least we have an option should you all want to wake up at the same time. If not, we can just prepare and travel with them along with our supporters and those that have chosen to help us. We can make a decision in the morning, but for now I think we should all rest. I know that it's not going to be easy knowing what we have to face tomorrow, but maybe clearer minds will prevail.
We came to this party
Hopefully.
hoping to do better for this city. I hope we still have the chance tomorrow.
Fate stands up and she's got a very somber and kind of sad, distant look in her eye. And she puts her hand on your shoulder, Augustine, and she just goes, I know this isn't really the night that maybe you had planned for a date to a gala, but
Bless you.
thank you for your support and all of you. I'll see you all in the morning. She gets up and walks to her room.
We are
What do you all
going
do?
to lose tomorrow.
I think we have to go with her in the morning, or she's just going to die out there. It's
I
not.
think you're 100% right, but there's no winning on this.
Well,
It's just mitigating losses at this point.
I hate to say it, Missouri. I didn't say it in front of Faith because it's rude, and they don't really want to do it. But there is a option where both parties stop fighting, and Faith takes over. You know, if we
Wasn't
kill,
that what we were vying for to begin with? Oh, I'm
I,
sorry. I missed that part. Kill who?
I'm implying that we killed both of them.
I don't think she'd be happy with us killing her.
Right, but
Either
they
of
seem like
them.
they're going to kill each other, so might as well do it. It all feels so pointless. They want to fight until one of them wins, and then when they win, what's gonna happen? They're gonna do more stupid shit to stay in power.
And then somebody else is going to come and
Someone
take the
someone else is
place
gonna
of
be
a
angry. Someone's gonna want to take over and be like, "Hey, I don't like what you're doing. I'm gonna change this by taking you down." And then what? What's the next step?
Don't
continuing the cycle.
foresee planned murder being a good option.
I'm not saying we should. I said I didn't want to do it, but I'm saying it is an option we could do if we feel like it was necessary.
That is the option that would likely tear the city apart. Because you understand, a third faction stepping forward in support of fate, that is then seen dispatching the leaders of the other two factions, which means that we take what we want in blood. And while that is acceptable to some in the city, that would just cause rising discontent. They would be seen as martyrs to those that supported them.
Yes. Once again, I do not think it's a good idea. Just thought we should maybe talk about it.
It would very definitively solve a problem, but
It's
it would
all a
unfortunately create
problem.
more.
I'm not. Listen, the village I'm from, there are the elders who they're old and they're smart, and there's the chief who's the strongest. That is it. There's no internal politics on who gets to rule. No one's fighting over some building because there's people who are more powerful there talk to and get power from. I don't understand what is. It's also complicated, but also simple. You guys you've made this elaborate, uh, complicated issue, and then they just boil it down to I got to go fight this guy because I want this place. They it's impossible to see reason with these people.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, it is really complicated, and I'm wondering if there's not a way to simplify it. Do these two hate each other. They want to fight. Why have them use their armies to fight each other? Why not have them just do it themselves?
Because they
And
do
then
not
everybody
wish.
else just has to sit there and watch and deal with the outcome.
Because
Because
then it's
if
just
one
let
side
them
wins, they're going to massacre the other side. But if one of these two a-holes kills the other, maybe we can prevent everybody from killing each other.
This
After-
isn't just. It's not just a petty squabble, is the thing. They are both truly stepping onto the field of battle, thinking that they are doing what is best for the city. These are two opposing factions. This goes deeper than the bad blood. I understand that it's a part of it. But these are people who are picking up their weapons because they passionately believe in what they're doing. That's not something that we can settle with a duel.
I suppose.
I mean, it's nothing we could settle, but it's something we could get less bloodshed with.
I'm
Besides,
saying
both
that it
of them-
wouldn't stop with a duel.
I mean, if both of them are so strong in their convictions, they should be willing to pay for it in their own blood.
but they aren't going to. They have to
Of course they're not
understand
going
these.
to. That's how power
They're,
works.
yes, they're very powerful, rich assholes who just want to send out their men and do a war.
Except that's not what they're doing. They are going to be on the battlefield.
Of course, they're going to be on the battlefield, but I don't get it. It's all too much. Listen, I'm going to help Fate in whatever way I can. I don't. Unless one of you have a better idea than just going earlier than both of them, and I'm not sure what to do.
Even if we could convince them to do the duel as opposed to a full-out war, their armies will call foul for whichever one loses.
I don't know if it's and it's
We
not.
need- We need a truly neutral mitigator, and we don't have any in this city. Even Fate's going to be biased at the end of it because she also doesn't want people to die if they can, if she can help it. I think, I cannot believe the words are coming out of my mouth. I think the only neutral party that would probably get away with it is if it was Fate and Majin as a neutral party, but that is the worst idea for so many reasons.
Yeah. I don't know.
Objectively terrible idea, but I mean, between both of their personal interests, they would probably be the neutralist, their most neutral parties. They're just not going to be able to change anyone's mind.
Well, that's the thing. I have no idea what Majin's personal interests are. They are just an enigma. It is. I guess they are neutral in the sense that no one knows what they're thinking, but. And I don't know if Fate might be neutral in that she doesn't want either party to die. But I think Lacroix might see Fate as a maybe leaning more over to Dorian, considering she came over here, tried to get his favor, and convince him.
I mean, by that argument, Dorian probably thinks Fate's on Lacroix's side because she helped take the Hearth in the first place.
Possibly. Yeah. Mm,
At any rate, we're talking in circles.
yes, we're going to get nowhere.
Whatever Fate ends up needing as help, she'll get it from me, and that's as far as I think I'm comfortable with deciding for tonight.
Out of thin air, as those words leave your mouth, Issa, popping up right behind Augustine is Elliot. He goes, "Oh my god, you people are so dense. So many assumptions. I like you. You're quiet, pointing at Jean. You don't know
We
what's
already know
going on,
this.
and you admit it. That's fine. I get that. Every single one of you is just blah, 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 blah. What if, what if, what if? It's not about what ifs. It's about the choices you all make. Don't get me wrong, I love watching you all beat your head against the wall, especially my sister. But the point is this. You've brought up a lot of wonderful ideas, but then you second guess yourselves. It's maddening. Oh my god, it's like talking to that kobold. It doesn't make any sense, and I confused every time I listen to it. But the point is I just wanted to come in here and tell my sister goodnight and spy on you all at the same time, so it worked in my favor. Sis, I hope you sleep well. I would caution you all to be careful. Because word around the grapevine is any of you that owe any favors, those are being cashed in pretty quickly, because no one's sure what the fate of the Shadelands is. So, okay, bye.
Wonderful. Always a pleasure
So,
talking to you.
he's
It's a pleasure
so
talking to me
useful. I'm so
too.
glad he's here.
Yes. It's
Thank
very
you
good catching
for that.
sarcasm.
Mm.
Great pep talk.
It's a wonderful news to hear as well, considering a lot of favors. All right. Well,
Yeah, let me flip through my Rolodex real quick.
So, just out of curiosity, I know
currently?
Riva owes favors. I know Jean owes favors. Were any favors owed by any of you after you were forgotten?
Nope.
all
Okay.
of mine.
Okay. Well, Riva.
You started off very early.
Well, I had a few before I died. I
Yeah.
got swords for free, technically. It only cost me that.
All I needed to do was die, and I'm debt free.
Exactly. I just need to die again,
I mean,
and I'll be free of my debts.
That's frustratingly accurate for the real world too.
I'm trying to workshop that into the free real estate bit from Tim and Eric's awesome show. I've almost got it. It's in there. I'm gonna put it on the shelf. I'll come back to it later.
All right.
I think the only
So-
thing I owe is to Majin in the first place. From whatever that was.
Right. Which I believe has been paid. Okay.
And the other one's been paid too.
Yep. All right. So the only people that are in debt are Riva and Jean.
Well, also, Unya took the major favor from your fan.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So, any other role play, talking to each other before you go to sleep, or start your long rest?
Augustine's gonna get up and kind of look around at everyone else.
Okay.
I understand that for some of you, you are from different places, different cultures, different ways that things are done. That being said, we have been traveling together for actually not that long. Wow. A lot has happened recently.
Technically, a few weeks. It just
A
didn't
few
feel like it.
weeks. That's
It's been about 2 months by this point.
2 months. Okay, so we're down there for a while.
2 months, decent amount of. The point being, I hate doing this. I ask as your companion, that as you're mulling over your ideas tonight, do it from the perspective of someone who lives here, not an outsider. Because whatever we do, that's going to affect a lot of people who live here. Everyone who lives here. And we need to be thinking of them as well.
Jean, you get a whisper in your head that you don't quite recognize that simply says, the effects of what happens here is not just going to affect the Shadelands. Butterfly effect and all that.
Do I recognize this voice, or is this
Roll a perception.
24?
It seems very familiar. However, it's just there. It's like it's on the tip of your tongue or the front of your brain noodle, but you just can't quite place it. Super familiar. It's a voice that you've known for so long, but there's no name to go with it.
It's just right there. Anybody else just get a weird voice in their head, or am I going crazy again? Oh wait, no, I'm psychic, so maybe somebody else is trying to tell me something. Anywho,
You okay, John? Do you talk? I know
I
a
don't
lot
think
happened very recently, but
I don't think I've been okay for a while now that I think about it.
Join
But
the club.
so you know, the Shadelands is kind of a weird place with us being like this whole the well and all this other stuff. And I remember people, as we've been here, saying how like aren't the walls of reality kind of thin here? How you can it's more easily to travel the planes and all that sort of stuff. So I guess what I'm getting at is how likely is anything that happens here to actually stay here? With the Shadelands destabilizing, is there how big is the fallout, the spill going to be? I mean, some of you have lived here for a long time. Do you have an inkling of how bad a mess here would affect other places?
It's gonna be bad. Like capital B, bold, italicized, bad. If this place crumbles the way that everyone's thinking it will.
They call it the ripple effect, but with how bad this is, I think I'd call it the tidal wave effect.
And there will be realities that have defenses strong enough to withstand the flood, but it's not going to be all of them.
So we're not trying to plug a hole in a dam. We're trying to build a
divert
wall
a
of
river.
sandbags to keep it from making too much of a mess.
Honestly, it sounds more like we're trying to build the dam beneath the lake.
Yeah.
This party's
Yeah,
been
okay, no
renamed
pressure.
FEMA.
Yeah. We are building a dam between realities, and we do not have time for foundations. But we're gonna do the best we can, because that's all that's available to us. And I suppose tomorrow we'll see what that means.
Yeah. Okay, I just trying to get a feel for the scope. So yeah, all right.
I mean,
You know, I think I'm just the tiredest I've ever been. So, yeah, we got any last thoughts before we hit the hay on this, so we don't talk in circles all night? We need
I
our
mean,
beauty sleep and all.
however we end up doing this, we're still building, and the only way we can do this is one brick at a time. So, I guess we'll see what that ends up building tomorrow. Also, do you want to borrow favor? I feel like you maybe shouldn't be by yourself tonight.
You know, I would really appreciate that. I felt rude to ask.
Of course. and I will give Jean my bun.
Buzz Bunny
Appreciate
flies over to you and sits on your shoulder, just making weird little noises.
That's a little.
She's
It's
gonna
not the
try and
same,
burn
but
you.
it's
It's gonna
close
be
enough.
weird. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll be alright.
All right. I assume Jean wanders off to his room.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Issa's not gonna be far behind.
All right.
Who he goes
Issa.
to.
All right. Issa, Unya, you all head off to your respective rooms. Augustine and Riva.
You seem smarter than anyone else in this party. I'll be frank. So, whatever you decide to do, you and Fates, I'll be there to help you. You clearly know the Shadelands better than I do. But that's it,
Riva,
really.
if I'm being honest, I only know as much as I do because I've been here as long as I have. That being said, your system does sound far less stressful than this one. And Augustine will try to walk out of the room, but she actually goes to knock on Fate's door.
Okay. We'll get to you in just a second. Riva, she just drops that on you and then just kind of goes down the hallway. What are you doing?
I assume there's some kind of like bath here.
Yeah,
need to get the blood off me.
there's baths in your rooms. It's like I said, it's comfortable. It's just not lavish.
Okay, I'll go to my room and
All
clean
right.
up
Clean off the blood of your victory.
all the blood.
Augustine, you knock
What
on.
if there's bath bombs?
No,
Sorry.
that is lavish.
Far too lavish.
Far
You
too
get bar
lavish.
soap
You get
and nothing
unscented bath
else.
salts and you like it.
So you go and you knock on Fate's door. To your surprise, it only takes a second or so before you hear an answer from inside saying, "Yes? Can I help you?"
It's Augustine. I wanted to check in on you because I know tonight and the events of tomorrow can't be easy.
The door opens and Fate looks exhausted. She says, That's not wrong. Tomorrow, a lot of choices will be made. Come on in." She opens the
So
door
go in.
wider. And there's a small seated area in there. Little couple of chairs sitting across from each other. She's in the middle of brewing what looks like some tea, and she offers you a cup.
Augustine will gladly accept. But as she does, she actually wants to do an insight check. She wants to see how well she can gauge just how bad Fate is feeling, as terrible as that sounds.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll insight.
Um, 26.
Her exhaustion is not physical. It's very emotionally driven. It's maybe it's because you've made a living of reading people in general, or perhaps that you have become so good in your personal life at masking that you can see when someone else is masking what they're truly feeling, and you can read her like a book. It's not just the fact that it was a long night, it's the fact that she is still weighing heavily how she's going to deal with tomorrow. She hasn't set any specifics on what side she's going to choose. Um, she seems very distraught just about the entire ordeal itself. And as much as you could kind of figure that from what she said out loud, it seems to be affecting her far greater than you could have possibly anticipated.
Does she also sit down, or does she seem to be like restless, can't sit down kind of thing?
She's sitting. She sits down after she offers you the tea, and she pours a cup for herself. There is a restless energy about her, but not in the sense that she needs to get up and move. It's very it's like that weird nervous tick people get when they're stressed,
Hmm.
like the tapping of the foot, the ever so slight tapping of the fingers slowly on a countertop sort of vibe that you're getting from her.
Augustine will take a sip of her tea, kind of like get her thoughts together for just a moment. And then she looks at Fate from the tea and, forgive me, I'm a little too good at reading this sort of thing. The energy. I'm assuming that you don't feel like you're going to be able to sleep.
No, I'll find a way to sleep. It's just it's a very big decision I have to make. No matter what I do, one side is going to see me as betraying them, and inevitably that will lead to me betraying one of the sides. And with these two being literally my oldest friends, and at one point my 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 battle brothers, and in Dorian's case, a lover. It's it's a lot to process knowing that I'm going to break at least one heart tomorrow, unless something else happens.
Well, I can't say that I have experience with a decision like this because I truly don't. I've sort of avoided actually making those kind of ties for quite a while.
I've
But
tried.
that's sorry, my friend just got home. Their dogs are freaking out a little bit.
It's okay.
Well, one second. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. We'll go ahead and cut away from that scene. And we're gonna hop over to Jean. Jean, you are in your room, presumably getting ready for the evening and kind of laying down to rest, to regain, what mental faculties you have remaining for the battle ahead. And as you slowly drift off to sleep, um, first it's darkness, and then you start to see colors shift. And then you're in a dream. And in this dream, you are standing in a field covered in ash. And strong winds blow, and the ash blows away. And you see that it's fields of golden wheat in places before ash falls down again, covering up what just got blown off. And standing in front of you is the man that you met so long ago at the beginning of this adventure, wearing a circlet, wearing robes that you don't recognize, that you assumed were your people. Um, and he looks at you and says, "The time has come to make a choice, Jean. Tonight, favors are coming due. And one way or another, they'll be paid. And I worry that they are set and primed to give you all a disadvantage based on what I've been hearing. I can prevent you from having to worry about these favors entirely, but the price is heavy. The price is you learn the truth about everything. The tale woven about you and where you came from. Everything. You will learn who you truly are.
So, everything that I've been through, everything that I've learned up to this point, it's it's not all of it. I don't have the full picture still.
Nope.
After everything.
After everything. It's tough to break this kind of news to someone, and in a perfect world, this would have been doled out much slower and easier to digest. However, the way things are progressing here, it seems that the timeline was shortened because your future is uncertain.
It's already just been so much. What more do I have to give? What more has to be taken?
So, without spoiling and without giving you without getting, this simplifies everything for you, your place in the universe. However, it is a terrible truth. Your price for no longer having to worry about your favors is that you learn that knowledge here and now.
My life has been a search for this truth. I've done nothing but search. Everything that I've done that wasn't directly involved with trying to find the truth has been to help those I've met along the way or to put food in my belly.
Mm-hmm.
Please, give me the truth.
All right. Then we have a pact. The figure before you fades away. Standing before you is Majin. Majin says, "This truth that I am about to reveal to you about who you really are is daunting, terrible, and unfortunately, this part of the dream or information that you're receiving will be removed. But what you will remember is this: the reason why you can't find anything about your people and why we've had to push you into ideals of justice and saving people is because we had to give you drive. You see, my siblings had a bet of whether life would survive or death would reign. But I had a dream or an idea. Personifications. little bit difficult to explain to a mortal. You are the concoction of the domain of life. You are brand new. You are the only one of you in existence. And the wager is that you'll do the right thing. At least that's what life says. Death said that you would only bring destruction to those around you because you are but a mortal and a silly little thing. I just get the bonus of getting to watch how things progress.
Yes. So, so I was made. Okay. Since we're talking truth here,
Mm-hmm.
was I like, am I actually as old as I think I am, or is a whole bunch of my memories something that was poured into me and then I just walked in here to do all of this?
Oh, no, 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 no.
Was I real?
You were real.
Did I have a life of sorts? Or
You.
have,
Yes. Your experiences up till now are all very real. In fact, the only thing fabricated is where you came from. You were created.
well, that's something, I guess.
The people who were in your visions that died protecting you, those were legitimately your parents. But what you are was the gamble. You were given powers that exceed normal mortals to see if you would use them for the right things. Your parents are very real, and unfortunately, they did die in a horrible disaster. They died saving you. That was not our choice. Our choice was to create you. We let mortal hands guide you when you were brought to this realm. The people that found you and raised you taught you their ways as much as they could because you were different. And the only thing we've done is release some of those memories to you as you got older. Like I said, would have been much better had it been on a longer time frame, but time is of the essence. And with that, you now know the truth that your power was not born of this world. You are a gamble. You are a messenger of fate. And you, like your companions, will decide how you shape this land, one way or the other. So, what you will remember is as follows: your power comes from a domain of life. You are wholly unique. But what you won't remember is that I was involved. Instead, you'll remember this being told to you by a kindly old man dressed in foreign robes. And when this is all done, depending on the choices you've made, I will restore this memory to you as well. For a job well done and proving the life domain right, or the death domain.
Well, okay. Um, super. At least I have the comfort of knowing my trauma was real, I guess, instead of written as a bit of flavor from some all-powerful. What's it?
No, that would be interfering too much, and the gods don't like that.
Yeah. Well, I guess I earned it. So. Shit. Yep. Cool. I need to go to sleep so fucking bad. Oh my god.
Rest well,
Yeah.
Jean. And may you dream
Okay.
of something. And as you drift off to sleep and this figure vanishes from your dreams, you think of a letter you wrote not so long ago, and the words penned by your hand to one dear to you. Dearest Scarlet Autumn, even though we are separated by many years and untold miles, I still think of you often. Our time together at the Javier School of Wayward Youths was undoubtedly some of the happiest of my life. But I cannot return to Eltergard until I discover what it is that I truly am. My search for answers brings me to the Shadelands and Yon Cath itself. The stories I hear of this place are full of strangeness and wonder not to be found anywhere else in our world. I hope I find what I seek, even if the answers are difficult or painful to hear. I cannot rest until I know the truth. Give my love to Laura, Harriet, Jules, and the others. With luck, I will be able to return to you and finally know what I am. With love, Jean Valgris. Jean, the rest of your night goes unperturbed. You get a full long rest. There you go, buddy. No
Finally.
favors are called in.
Yeah.
And all the people you weren't sure about, since they made deals, you remember everything. Now you all remember everything about each other. There is no secret that is hidden anymore. Jean, you gain a warlock level of your choice.
Okie dokie.
However, due to the strangeness of your creation, you may instead take one more level in your current class.
Ooh.
That being said, Unya and Riva, there is a knock on each of your doors.
I'll open mine.
Who is it?
There's one voice outside, standing between the two doors, that simply says, I have a request for Riva and an Unya.
Hold on. Open the door.
Yes. I'm not sure why or how, but I was sent by some weird kobold wearing a chef's hat. Somehow he managed to gather up all of the favors you owed various people throughout the city on behalf of, and I quote, a madman. I don't know, I'm just the delivery guy. The point is, they say that in order to fulfill your duties, and this is weird. I don't understand it, but you know what? Maybe you will. In order to repay your debts, you're not allowed to sleep this evening.
Oh, fine.
Fine. I know you're a patron or whatever of him. Wild. You know that, right?
I'm not a
Like
patron.
going across the
He's
hallway.
not my patron. I do
Is he
pay
not?
for it.
You're dressed in chef's clothes.
There's more to that than you know.
Oh, is there? I'm sure you'd love to tell me because you love to talk about these things. But why? The fucking patron's asshole. Fine, I won't sleep.
All right,
Now,
my
is it that
job's
we're not
done.
supposed to sleep, or do we have something else we're supposed to be doing?
Don't. No, he said not sleep. That's it.
Nope. Very explicitly, do not sleep. Something about
Okay.
testing your resolve.
Oh, okay.
God. Tell the kobold to kiss my ass. I hate that guy. Go back into my room and sit down.
Uh,
I leave my room and I sit down at the table to meditate.
so, he pulls out another letter and he goes, in the event that I was called an asshole. All right. There's another letter that says, you're the asshole. I don't.
Wonderful. Thank you, whoever you are. You can go now.
Do I get a tip?
Close the door.
Fuck,
I give him a
nobody.
gold.
Thank you. One of you is a kind soul. Have a wonderful, well, have a night, I guess.
Mm.
And this faceless courier walks out of the castle.
Nope, if I meditate, I might fall asleep too. Guess I'm gonna start practicing my forms.
I assume there's absolutely nothing to like fight or like there's no like training dummies. So this one wall is completely battered. I just wail into the whole night.
Could go fight Unya.
Uni, you want to fight?
Let's do it. I'm game.
All right. But I like to hear.
I think we talked about fighting before and never got around.
Yeah. So
You did this.
we're gonna do this. We're gonna thematically like do a storyteller montage. You two spend the entire night fighting. The next day, whenever everyone's ready, you both have a point of exhaustion.
Wonderful.
Quick question in this fight:
Yes.
Do you use your sword and do you use your dance forms?
It depends on how much you want to go. I
Okay,
assume
so
we're
if
just
we're
sparring
just-
with fists
If
because I
we're
don't want
just
to murder you.
sparring, then okay. Don't forget, if you pull the swords, I pull all the tricks too. So
Listen, we got a big fight tomorrow. I'm not trying to bloody you.
All right. So there is a fight happening in the. I assume you move the tables out of the way and you're just sparring
nope,
in the.
Yeah, just
nope.
Oh no!
I'll move the tables out of the
Apparently
way.
hopping on tables. That's fine.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, look, we're about to go into full combat. We don't have time to. Not gonna.
Okay.
All
All
the
right.
tables are broken.
Disrespect your surroundings. Exactly. All right, Augustine. We cut back to you having tea with Fate. This
Trying
is
to remember the
about
last thing that came.
10 minutes prior to the batshit crazy that's
The
about to happen.
shitstorm and yeah. Okay, I remember what I was saying before the dogs got super excited. I would not wish this sort of decision on anyone. But while I cannot change that it must be made, I can hear you out, I can listen, and I think I can actually help you get some proper sleep tonight.
I appreciate it. All right. Augustine, roll me a percentile.
Is that what, a D100?
Yep.
Mediate.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Fate looks at you, and her features soften. She says, I appreciate you coming to talk to me. And while there's no expectations, it has been a long time since I've connected with anyone on any sort of level, let alone been approached in a manner that was as respectful as yours was. I know we both may be going to our deaths tomorrow. Would you stay the night?
Augustine is like, there's a moment where it doesn't seem to quite click at first. And there's surprise. If she glances at the door, does it have a lock?
Yes.
She's gonna get up and lock the door. She'll stay the night.
Okay. It's nothing crazy. It's just honestly just companionable, like laying next to each other, embrace. Like as you both kind of lay down to finally get some rest, you sense a stress that seemed to be weighing on both your and her shoulders just kind of release. And you both drift off to sleep soundly, uninterrupted even by the absolute bullshit that is happening in the foyer.
Listen, it's gay cuddling. Okay, that's better than I could have hoped for.
Issa, you got yourself some unscented bath salts, cleaning off. You have no interruptions throughout the evening. You do hear kind of a wild out in the hallway. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You hear Riva borderline about to assault Unya, followed by Riva and Unya assaulting each other.
Issa at some point is going to get up and do the grumpy old lady, keep it the fuck down out the door, and then go right back to bed. It's not going to change anything, but it makes her feel better that she did it.
You do need your beauty sleep. You are 90 years old.
Not gonna lie, Unya might actually grow respecting your elders a little bit.
So all it took.
All it took was aging 50 years. All right.
I'll take it. I look good for 50. Or for 90.
All right. So the night passes on without incident. You all have your various things that are going on. Fate nudges you, Augustine, in the morning to simply ask, at the very least, to meet up with her in the atrium, where Unya and Riva apparently are still just tussling it out and have been all evening. It has been 6 hours of this. There's a
That's a
knock
lot
on.
of roughhousing.
Yeah, so rough, so house. Jean and
No furniture
Issa.
has been spared.
There is just a look of confusion on Fate's face as she's like, "Did you?" Never mind. And she goes and knocks on Issa and Jean's door.
You better have coffee.
I will get some.
Thank you. Full armor ready to go, but just grumpy as a wet cat.
I love that you've got the old lady smoker voice going now.
All right. So it is about an hour or 45 minutes before dawn when everyone's going to be mustering. There is some movement around the castle, but nothing that is full-fledged, ready to go. So they're prepping to march on the Scarlet Hearth. Fate has gathered you all this morning. Doesn't really address Riva or Unya about what they were doing because she just assumes it was stupid. Or that they got up before her. She
Wouldn't
doesn't
be
know.
wrong.
She hasn't been wrong yet on that.
She
Tax
goes,
must be
okay,
paid.
now that we've now this is where it's fun. She just looks at you and goes, well, now that we've all had some rest.
Now that you all have had some rest.
I'm ready to go. Oh, wait,
Yes,
what?
certainly was that.
Punch
Sure you
drunk
are, you know.
loopy.
I didn't hear no bell.
Punch him
Hey.
again.
But my outfit is still pristine. Y'all go to hell.
I mean,
So-
that's probably the destination.
there's a full breakfast that's already ready that you all can eat as you're talking, including various beverages, coffees, teas, etc. Fate
This is
hands
taking an
Issa,
entire pot for herself.
she hands you a cup and then you just grab a pot and she's like, okay. She goes, I just wanted to get, I'm going to go with what you all decide. Do we want to leave early and head them off on Patron's Pass or meet up with Lacroix? That's two options. Or are we going to march with Dorian's Accursed Guard?
I say we go to the pass. I'm not a fan of what Dorian has planned, but I trust him marginally more than Lacroix at this point.
So we'll meet them in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least that's my opinion.
Everyone else?
Oh well, it's mine as well, but I sort of was the one that put it forward, so I assumed that was
Is
evident.
feels like none of the options seem right per se, but it seems the most reasonable, I guess.
It's the
Whatever
least
that
wrong.
means. Sure.
Okay. Jean? Unya?
Yeah, that seems like the best of bad options.
Jean, how do you
And it
look
also
right
feels like
now?
it buys us more time. Oh, Jean, without really thinking about it, is he's not really walking anymore. He's just kind of like floating, just skimming over the ground, and his eyes are crackling with lightning because he decided to take a another level in Scion, which means he gets a third psionic discipline. And he chose what is it actually called? Psychokinesis, which means he has energy manipulation. So he's all kinds of zip zapping and popping off. He's really feeling himself today because he got himself a level up.
Okay, so in terms of the vibe you're giving off, actually, everyone
I'm
else
gonna-
that feels like it, roll an insight on Jean, because I'm not going to make
Sure,
him
I'll-
describe how he feels unless we know that anyone actually understands how he might be feeling.
I'll roll insight disadvantage. It's fine. 11.
24
10.
for me.
Is that with disadvantage?
We're exhausted. We get
Oh,
disadvantage.
that's right. That's right. Hang on. Yep, that's with disadvantage.
All right. Issa?
10.
Okay. Augustine?
34.
Jesus, I don't even know why I asked you
I
anyways.
got a nat 20.
Okay, we're literally all rolling for second at any given moment.
Listen,
Okay.
Augustine had a very restful night, okay? She's on top of her game.
She got her brains cuddled out. You understand?
Exactly. She got some good cuddles in, okay?
And apparently,
Augustine
for Unya to notice
and
things, it just means exhaustion.
Augustine and Unya, you both have a chance of seeing this. Jean, are you trying to hide how you actually feel?
I'd say no.
Okay. How are you feeling? Not just your powers. How are you emotionally right now?
A certain amount of resolve, in intensity, because Jean knows the truth about himself. Well, most of it. There's that one little bit, but we'll worry about that later. And he, is feeling his this purpose. So he's trying to be focused, collected, but he's also a little anxious, which is where the whole light show's coming from with his expanded powers.
All right. So, Unya and Augustine, Jean seems more put together than he ever has, if not a tad anxious.
In his goddamn life.
The
Oh,
entire
he
time
probably
you've
got
known
some
him.
cuddles. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, he did have a bunny with him.
I could have got my cuddles in, but I was made not to sleep.
Hey,
No.
fighting is
Augustine doesn't-
pedaling for you.
He said fighting is cuddling for you.
Whoa.
He
in
wasn't
some
cuddling.
ways.
She wasn't cuddling her sword, so it doesn't count.
Exactly. See, John gets it.
I'm psychic. I know what's up.
Wait,
Yeah,
why,
that doesn't make me the most comfortable, but alright.
why did neither of you sleep?
His patron told us not to. He had all of
He's
our.
not a patron, and debts
I-
must be paid.
He got all of our what are they called?
Favors?
Favors. Yes, thank you. I was gonna call them tax. He got all our favors, and he made us not sleep to test our resolve.
All
So
things considered, I think y'all got off real easy. So far.
alright, well,
I still feel like there's more to it than what we got.
There probably is, hence the so far.
sure there is, but
So,
what am I gonna do about that?
since you've all, so it is up to Unya and Jean now. You making your decisions. Are you planning on? You're all planning on going to Patron's Pass with them,
Mhm.
correct? Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
So everyone's on board. She goes, okay. So we have a couple options. We can either go down the streets, or we can take Alias up on his offer.
Alias.
Yeah, unless we have a way of going without ringing any alarm bells, 'Cause I'm sure the people are gonna be out on watch already, but we can all disguise ourselves. I guess we don't need him.
I am not going back to being a mouse.
You seem like you enjoyed it the time we did it, so I don't know why you're complaining.
Alias makes the most sense, but I almost wish that we were going just down the streets so we could warn people to not get involved with this.
I think people might already not know not to get involved. At least I hope so.
I hope so too. But
There's only so much we can do about it without causing troubles for ourselves. So
True. Ilias makes the most sense.
yeah,
All
it
right.
does.
In that case, give me just a
Hey, John.
second here. Huh?
Yes.
Can I roll while that conversation's happening? Can I roll a sleight of hand to slip something into Fate's pocket?
You can certainly try, yes.
Well, I'm damn well gonna try with my +5.
Okay.
37.
I get a 37 from a +5.
I wouldn't put it past you.
18.
Okay.
I feel like Fate has stupid high perception.
Well, if I'd stop moving stuff,
Roll for pocket.
she does not seem to notice.
Okay, she's just gonna slip a brooch in there. Like the weight's probably gonna become notable to her at some point. It's just a little brooch that she had made shortly after in her first bardic career here. She was dubbed the Masked Angel, and it's just 2 wings, like a silver brooch with 2 wings on it. Just
Okay.
a good luck charm. It doesn't do anything.
Oh my God. All right. Well, thanks to your course of actions, I don't have to worry anything about that at all. All right. So you all kind of gather yourselves, you get yourselves battle readied and everything like that, and you start heading out the front gate. No one messes with you. They assume that you're going to make your choice one way or the other, but it doesn't seem like you're going to get in the way right now. So the accursed guard let you pass unmolested. Nobody checks you. You have some nods in your direction from some of the people that were there the night before. And you make your way to a meeting point where Alias greets you at the outer banks of Patrons Pass. As you're getting there, you hear off in the distance the beginning of the march. The accursed guard is walking or marching towards the Scarlet Hearth. You all start making your way. Alias basically disguises you all, you're all invisible, for lack of a better word, and you are all perched in the middle of Patrons Pass. As you're deciding how best to deal with the oncoming army of the Accursed Guard and the legionnaires you see behind you, standing warily and dog-tired at the doors of the Scarlet Hearth. They've been fighting for a long time. Correction, Aelios met you at the Black Span before any of the war, because the fighting is still obviously going on. There's battles all around you, but the marching hadn't started yet. As you make your way to the middle of Patrons Pass, the bridge that connects to the Scarlet Hearth, let me make sure I got this right here. Okay. Where is this? Nope. Okay. Here we go. Okay, that's where it was. I was in the wrong place. Sorry, everybody. This is me being dumb. All right. So you all make it to the middle of the bridge. And as you're waiting for the oncoming army to march upon the Scarlet Hearth, it starts approaching. You all made it here without any combat whatsoever. You made it safely. You prepared yourselves for what is potentially going to be a hard fight of either screaming and yelling at both sides to either maybe parlay a duel between the two of them or simply trying to stop them from murdering each other. You made it here safely, but apparently there's no time to celebrate. As the foundations of the hearth and the very shadeland themselves are rocked by powerful quakes, and the elemental dance erupts. The elemental dance, of course, being the aurora borealis in the sky. It erupts violently with streaks of red, and the sky splits open. And coming out, you see just a very, very large eye peering through, and tentacles break through and start flying towards the ground. And that's where we'll pick up next Friday, everybody.
Who let the great old one out?
Would you say it's a surge of tentacles?
Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll pick back up with what the hell's happening in the Shadelands with a little bit more detail next week. Don't forget to join us tomorrow at noon Central Standard Time for City of Illumination while we do our downtime and figure out what the hell we're doing, because it's going to be rough, everybody. Have a great night.
Probably nothing good. Goodbye.